Welcome to the podcast of Two Birds, One Brain. My name's the Curious Alice. It's Jessica Wood. Hello, hi. We are talking about one of my least favorite things in the world. Cringy crushes. Let's go. I have so many embarrassing ones.
Yeah, I was a very, very cringy child. I'm still a cringy adult, though. Let's be real. That didn't change. But these are the moments that, we still think about when we're falling asleep, like 20 years later.
Yeah.
Like, oh, God.
Yeah, there are things that I look back on from when I was in high school, and I was like, Jesus Christ, Alice. Keep it together.
Well, even I was going to ask, too, because I have some that are also thinking about, like even elementary, middle school. But because you had the homeschooled experience, like if some of those traditional, like kind of teen movie or TV show moments, like putting a note in somebody's locker or, chasing somebody around on the playground because you like them, like those little things that you didn't get to experience.
Not really, no. I had interactions with other kids. I
know you weren't
I'm just
in your house.
When you know that. I don't know how many people in the audience know that. Okay, I did have social time as a homeschooler. Okay, I know how to socialize.
It wasn't just you and your mom.
Yeah, it's not just me and my brothers and my mom. Okay, like we would go do stuff. We had a group. We homeschooled. Like there was a collective group of us, so we would do things together. But I definitely had crushes on people in that group.
Yeah, because I feel like the school time like crushes are a whole different.
Yeah, I didn't have a classroom, so
everybody's shoved together and everybody's hormones are changing around the same time, and it's just insanity.
I'm really glad I didn't go to middle school. Honestly, every time I think about it, the more I'm like, as much as I fucking hated being stuck in the house with my brother in middle school, not going to middle school was probably the best thing for me. I probably would have turned into those never mind, I'm not even going to say that. Actually, I'm not going to say that.
Never mind.
Carry on.
Because, I can remember my first crush was in 4th grade. I think there was a kid potentially in kindergarten that my parents said, I might have had a crush on, but I don't fucking remember that. That it was the little, but they're boyfriend and girlfriend at kindergarten, which is always weird anyway. But it's
yeah.
I don't think that was them putting that, on us. I think that was, kids not knowing exactly, mimicking things and being like, oh.
Yeah.
Eh. But, 4th grade was, my first crush. And I can remember a day I remember being this is one of the best moments of my life, as a child, whenever, we took turns pushing each other on the tire swing. There wasn't anybody else with us. Any of the other kids, they were off doing their own thing. And I was like, this is the best, which was the start of the unfortunate cringy obsession with that person. Oh.
I would like to once again clarify and say that as neurodivergent people, we said this last time, I will say it again.
Yeah.
We hyperfixate on individuals regardless of intention. Mm-hmm. I hyperfixate on friends, I hyperfixate on crushes, I hyperfixated on Logan. Okay? Sometimes my brain's just this person seems super interesting, and I will just latch onto them until I basically feel like I've hit the wall of I've learned everything I can about them, or I've learned everything I care to learn.
That's when you said you get bored.
Yeah, I get bored with people because sometimes they have 3 hobbies and they say the same 3 things to me, and I'm like, okay, I don't care anymore.
Well, because I also don't know. Again, I had multiple. Girl and guy friends, that's not important, that doesn't matter. But in middle school, I can remember, again, the time when everybody's hormones are changing, you're going through puberty. Yeah. And then I had a moment where I was do I, these guy friends that I've had since elementary school, do I like them? Not sure. Once things started
because you don't really know. Do I? You don't really know what that feeling's supposed to be either, you know?
Yeah, it's so you have that moment where you have to figure out, is that a crush or am I just very good friends with this person?
I would like to point out
they weren't crushes. No.
One of my favorite things is hearing about men going through that middle school puberty time, because as women, there is no real physical change when we get aroused by someone, but the fact that they'd be like, dude, I would just pop boners in class. I'd be like, dude, that fucking sucks for you.
Sucks so much.
Most that's gonna happen to me is I get flushed in the face, but that could be anything. That could be literally anything.
We can hide it.
So those are always my favorite stories, is when guys are like, oh yeah, and I would just be like sitting in science class and then be like,
ooh.
Just like,
well, you know
they're
what?
suddenly feral.
This is what I almost said to you, and I was like, no way, I should save this for recording, like before, because obviously when we were talking to each other. I watched Turning Red last week for the first time.
I really like that movie.
So good. It was so relatable. That was a great like representation of, again, being super cringy. I didn't like doodle men as mermaids or anything, you know. I didn't go her full route or the Tina Belcher route, you know, but still, like,
my lack of art skills really saved me.
Exactly. That's why. It's because I can't.
What I read on the internet, on the other hand, did not.
We were blessed with very good imaginations. So that's everything was hidden.
Yeah, it's still up in the brain.
Hidden. But that was, it was so fucking good, girl. And I know you'd said that and you were obsessed with it for a little while too.
Yeah, I really
finally
liked
watched it. It was amazing.
You know,
yeah, go ahead.
I think starting with a middle school, I think I should start with my biggest and most obvious one. And I swear to God, this person knows who they are. Yeah. And if they actually listen, they probably didn't make it this far into the podcast. We've said fuck too many times. But there's a good chance that they could be listening to it. So now I'm just exposing my innards. But they know. They know who they are. I had a crush on this person for like 10 years. Mm-hmm. I was definitely in love with this person, and they knew that, and just didn't have the courage to break my heart, and I didn't have the courage to break my own. So
yeah. No, I understand that for sure.
That one was probably the worst. That was my what's the word? Like every time I would think I liked someone else, and I'd be like, but they're not this person. They're not this person.
Yes, yeah. No, that was my first crush kid as well. 4th grade. So from, how old are you in 4th grade? Like 9 up until like 20. I was in love with that kid.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. No,
it's so embarrassing.
He was first crush, first love, whatever, first kiss, also, like the first.
I didn't even get that far.
No, like he said he loved me. I think we did for a while, and then it just didn't work. That I talked about him a little bit last time. But like it was very at the beginning. It was very giving the movie Clueless, because like I remember I was doing a doodle of like Marvin Martian one time, and he liked it, so then I made him a drawing of Marvin Martian. Very Clueless. But like he moved away, and then he moved back in middle school in like 7th grade, which was again puberty time.
Yeah, big hormone shifts. And
I remember, like, I had heard that he was back, like, the day he was back, and the whole day I'm, like, fucking amped, you know, because I was like, oh my god, like, he's back. And then, because we were in choir together, and I remember walking into the choir room, and, like, I saw him, but I was like, I'm gonna pretend I don't see him.
Oh my god.
And I did, and I pretended like I didn't notice he was there, and I sat, like, very close in front of him, so like he had to like tap me on the shoulder and be like, hey Jessica, I'm back. And I was like, oh my god, I didn't even see you there. Like very badly in 7th grade.
You know what's the funny shit about that is that like I don't think men understand how deeply we plan shit out.
Oh yeah,
we intentionally sabotage ourselves to get your attention. So cool. I know. And, you know, I think the best part about understanding that that's something that women do, and then also realizing that I'm bisexual and will also do it to get women's attention, and it doesn't work on women because they see right fucking through it because they also learned how to do it, changes your flirting game.
I can only imagine, yeah.
If you can flirt with women, you've really stepped up your game, is all I'm saying. Like,
there's got to be more substance than just, like... I don't even know what to call it.
It's insane, dude.
That's it.
Yeah. I don't think I've been more flustered than the one time I had a really hot waiter at Hooters flirt back at me. Oh. And Logan was literally like, oh, you floundering there a little bit? And I was like, shut up!
I don't know if I had funny. Any moments like that where I was just fully like, I don't know.
Oh, I trip over my own tongue all the time. You know that.
Yeah, no, this is true. Mine is usually that I'm trying to be cool, and then I say something that doesn't make sense or that's stupid.
Yeah,
like I'm trying
I'll say something that I think is funny, and I'm like, it's not funny.
Nothing's. Oh my god. But then even, like, within the trying to be cool stuff. So with the same kid, we also, okay, so then he moved away again. And he came back to visit for a summer in, like, 9th grade. And he was my first boyfriend. Again, first kiss. And he told me.
Yeah.
But the day before, like, we hung out at a local park that, like, he was like, I'm going to give you your first kiss tomorrow. And I was like, you can't tell me this beforehand. First off, I'm going to freak the fuck out. And then I overthought it. And I had this shirt. I remember I was in my closet trying to pick what to wear, you know, to be the coolest. And I
have to have my first kiss shirt.
I know. And I had this shirt and I almost didn't wear it. And I wish I didn't wear it. And it said, "Kiss me, I'm a pirate." And I wore it.
Jessica, no!
I did. And then I remember, like, I was riding my bike over there, and then I almost crashed my bike, like, as soon as I got to the place because my ripped jeans, like, almost got caught in the fucking
oh my God.
chain. And then he did kiss me when I was there, and I got so overwhelmed that, like, I stopped, like, mid-kiss, and then I gave him a hug.
Oh my God. Oh, God.
I know.
Wow. Being a teenager is fucking wild, bro.
Yeah. It's awful. And I'm so glad
oh my God.
that I'm an adult now, and the feelings are not raging as confusingly, and I can't even think of the words. You know, I'm flustered.
No, they are. They are.
But
they're there, but they're hidden inside period dramas.
That's true.
They're tucked away somewhere else.
But also, I know how to act more like a normal human being who has those feelings on the regular now. It's not just as all-consuming.
Also, being neurodivergent, we're like, how do neural people act when these things happen? Because I never learned that shit.
Yeah. No.
So that's fun.
Well, that even reminds me, and this is really... I'm going to say everything is really cringy because that's what we're talking about. But, oh girl. Yeah. Some of these things... I unlocked a memory last night when I was trying to think of things for today, and I got so embarrassed, but you know what I'm going to tell you? I'm going to tell the people anyway.
Let's hear it.
Because I remember there was this guy I had a crush on in, like, 9th grade. He was in a band. We went to go see him one time, and I remember sitting there, like, watching him and being like, okay, like, how do I let him know, you know, that, like, that I like him or whatever.
You throw your bra on stage at the age of 14.
Yeah, 14. But I remember, and this is one of those things that I was like, oh my God, this is probably, again, something that's like, this was probably a TISM thing. You should have gotten checked out for this. But it was like, I remember in watching movies and stuff, when you see people, like, pining for somebody else that they like but they can't have, the things that they do, you know, they kind of very gently, you know, like, will kind of purse or, like, bite their lips, or, like, you know, they do the look down and look up under the eyelashes thing. I was like, I should do that. Because that's what people do.
Oh, no.
Luckily,
she learned it from the movies.
I know. And I was like, oh, my God. I forgot that I did that. And I was literally like, yes, this is what you're supposed to do, so that they know that you like them.
Okay, but in that vein, Jessica.
Yeah.
This is the one that I hate talking about. This is the one that truly, like, if I didn't know that the person now was, like, kind of a scumbag, I would want to apologize to them and be like, I'm so sorry for the embarrassing way that I acted in high school. Which is worse. Freshman year, 9th grade. In one of my honors classes was this one kid I just fucking loved him. Yeah. Don't know why. Couldn't tell you. He wasn't that great of a person. He was really cute, and he had left his jacket in the class. So, and I knew it was his, and I was like, oh, I'll just take his jacket and give it back to him later. And then I didn't see him later in the day, and I was like, well, I guess I'm just gonna take this home. Jacket. I snagged this bitch's jacket and was like, you're going home with me. Yeah. You're going home with me.
Oh my God.
And I don't even remember, I didn't even have his phone number. I got his phone number. I also didn't have a phone. I need to clarify. Okay. I did not have a phone until I was 18, my senior year. Yeah. I had an iPod Touch that I used to text people. That needs to be clarified. So the number is not a real number. Yeah. So I had to get a hold of him through somebody else, like 3 different people, to get his number so I could text him and be like, hey, I have your jacket if you want it back. You know, like, I don't even know if you knew it was missing. And whoever gave me his number should never have done that. it's like I couldn't control myself. It was like, you know, in Mean Girls where she's like, oh my God, the word vomit's coming. That is what, that happened to me when I tried to talk to him. I'd be like, just shut up, Alice. Just fucking silence. Stop texting him. You need to shut up.
Oh my God.
And I texted some really cringy shit, and I did eventually give him his jacket back. I think I left it at like his locker or something. Or like left it on his chair in his class, which I should have just done in the first place. Instead of like keeping it like a fucking freak. And only
because it's so relatable though. That's why I understand. You're just like
fucking cringe to my core. Like, that's the one I'm the most embarrassed about. Like, all the other ones I can justify and be like, it really wasn't that bad. That one is just truly, I was weird, freaky girl. I 100% creeped and found his phone number through somebody else who probably was like, ew, how the hell did she get my phone number? Yeah. I texted him on spring break. I texted him on, like, just, like, at random times. And I was like, looking back on it, I want to die.
Oh my God.
It's so embarrassing. And the thing is that I ended up going to science camp with his older brother.
Yeah.
And I fucking love his older brother. Just like, he's such a bro.
Yeah.
He's so funny. And knowing his brother and then slowly figuring out that I was like, oh, you're just kind of a jackass. Even funnier, I then later on, he was on the soccer team, which I managed for 3 years in high school. 4 years, actually. I think I managed all the way through. And, you know, it's once you actually get to know someone, and I was like, ah.
Yeah, when it starts to fade and you're like, oh, why? Now
the fake hormone lie. The lying.
Well, that's like, because it's true. When I was trying to think back on the people that I had crushes on, especially, you know, it's like, yeah, it's just a crush. Like, I didn't actually want to date that person. What would I have done if I dated that person?
Purely just, like, my hormones were like, that person's attractive. It was, like, the most biological instinct possible. That person's attractive.
Because then if I
and then you're like, what do I do with that information?
Yeah. I don't... Why? Because there was a kid that I liked in 6th grade. He was a year above me. And he was the most kind of, like, basic, you know, popular middle school pretty boy. You know, like... Ryan Reynolds hair, you know, like, and kind of face shape. Like, he was a typical, whatever, he played football. Yeah. But, I wrote him a note, and I put a note in his locker that said, you know, I liked him or whatever. And I can remember, like, hiding around the corner with my bestie at the time, and, like, we watched him read it, like, oh my God. And he read it, folded it up, put it back in. Put it back in.
Oh, no!
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna interrupt that thought really quickly.
That was done.
So this was not a cringy crush from me. It was a cringy crush someone had on me.
Oh, which yeah, that's a thing too.
My sophomore year, there was a senior in my chemistry class, and he was at my table at one time, and he was like kind of a weird dude. But I'm nice to everybody, you know? That was my thing. There's no reason to have animosity in a classroom. You're stuck together for at least an hour, literally every single day. You might as well be friends with them. And I think that he didn't understand that. Yeah. As a neckbeard senior, if that helps you understand a little bit more. And his thing that he liked to do was he folded origami in class. Oh. Okay. So there was one day where he gave me an origami, and I was like, "Oh, thank you!
That's
like,
nice.
This is very nice." And I put it in my locker, and I didn't think about it. And later on, he asked me, he was like, "So, do you have an answer to my question?" And I was like, "Oh, what do you mean?" He's like, "Oh, did you not unfold the bird?" And I was like, "Why would I unfold it?" Yeah. Like, what? You gave me something made of origami. Why would I unfold it? That's just rude. Yeah, he was like, he was like, oh, I asked you a question in the letter. Like, he couldn't ask me directly. Yeah. Which is fair. I was going to say no. And I opened it up, and it was do you want to go to prom with me? And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And at that time, I was in a leadership class with a bunch of the senior girls. Really small schools. Everybody knew each other. And the mayor's daughter was in that class with me, and I was telling her about it. And she's like, okay, so that same kid also asked me out because I was just being nice to him.
Yeah.
Like, the year before. So she's like, okay, this is what you gotta do. Like, she gave me, like, the military rundown of how to survive this because she could tell I was nervous, I was anxious. I was 2 years younger than him. Like, he was legal and I was not. Like, it was weird.
Yeah, and if you're not expecting, you're just being nice to somebody and you didn't know that that's how they took it. Again, that's one of those, like, all of a sudden you're like, oh, this situation has shifted and I didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking at it this way. And then you get uncomfy.
Well, and the good thing is, I don't know if somebody told my teacher, but, like, literally the next day, we had a different seating chart. Like, I don't know if somebody got back to her in chemistry, because I didn't say anything about it. I just went to him and was like, hey, I don't really want to go to prom. And I did the whole, it's not really you, it's just, I don't want to go, like, I'm younger, like, I don't have any friends going. But I did not want to go with him. No. And I was like, I'm sorry, you really freaked me out. Could not handle it.
I only had, like, one person, I feel like actively like me, and that was in middle school. And it was the kind of unwanted, you know? And it's like, I kind of feel bad about it to this day, because especially as kids, you're like, you don't know how to handle that. And it's like, no, I don't like you, like, at all. And I mean, like, I remember, because...
I would like to point out the children have no training in that.
Oh,
you know?
No. There's no training in that. Have to know how to reject people, unwanted advances. Are you kidding me? Like, but I know one time, like, he got my number from somebody, and he, like, called the house, and he asked if I wanted to go to the movies with him.
He called the house?
Yeah, because I was in 7th grade. I didn't have a phone. It was a house phone. I got a cell phone, a flip phone, when I was 16, I think. So when I was junior,
wow, look at this fucking ancient ass bitch over here had a flip
phone. That's what we started with, girl, flip phones. My little Samsung thing that survived when I jumped in the pool with it in my pocket one time. It was just like a little aquarium for a bit. There was water in it. It still worked. Anyway.
That's solid.
Yeah. He asked me if I wanted to go to see a movie with him, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, let me ask my mom, you know, and I told her, and I was like, I don't want to go to the movies with this kid. I don't like him. And she was like, you can always use me as an excuse. Like, you tell him no, my mom said no. And like, Jessica, you can always use me as an excuse. And, like, I did feel so bad. Eventually, the kid figured out that I was like, it's not going to happen. But I think it was after he sent me, like, because for Valentine's Day, you know, a lot of student councils and stuff, they would do the carnations. Yeah. He gave me, like, 2 carnations. And I was like, oh, no.
I think I got carnations from someone.
Yeah.
But I think, because there was one year, I think my brother sent me one because he wanted to make sure that I got one. And I was like, that was sweet of you. And I think the other one I got was from my best friend, because she and I sent each other one. So.
Yeah, like, I've only ever...
I can account for the ones that I got.
Yeah, that was the first year, too, and I was like...
And none for Gretchen Wiener.
Yeah, no, thank you. But then I did have... Because you mentioned also, like, getting asked to prom. And this was just this
I got another prom one, which you've already heard.
I know, but I forgot most of it, and we had to cut it last time because Logan started playing guitar in the background.
It's okay. I got the deets. It's okay.
I was asked to prom 2 times. Once in freshman? Did we get to go to prom? No, I guess we did. Yeah. Once in like freshman year, and then once in senior year, I think I got asked. And they were by very nice guys. One of whom I was like kind of friends with him, the one in freshman year, but like I didn't really talk to him that much. So I didn't understand that, like, when he asked me to prom, it was actually, like, a big deal, and that he wanted me to go with him. I was like, no, like, no thanks. I'm going with my friend Monica. Like, it just did not compute.
Yeah.
That this was probably a huge deal for him. And then same thing with the other guy, who was a good friend of mine. We played soccer together. He asked me to prom, and it was the same thing. I was like, no, I'll see you there, but, like, I'm going with my best friend Monica. Like, we're going to prom together. I was just like, does not compute. And I feel so bad about that still to this day. That I just didn't know. Because I can
tell you that mine was a complete flusterfuck. So at least I knew what was going on.
I did not know. I was like, no, I'm going with Monica.
That's so funny.
Womp.
Listen, let me get back into it for you.
Go,
Let's rewind the tape and replay this for you.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to clarify that this individual did pop into one of my streams last year, and I was like, oh, fuck. So just know that in the back of your minds.
I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do.
So we had a science class together. We usually teamed up on projects because he was fairly smart. He was a smart person. He was one of those lazy smarts where he did the amount of work he needed to do just to pass, and then like didn't really give a fuck about the rest of it. And I was probably only about 2 levels of smart above that, where I was just like, I was putting effort in, but, you know, I'm not going to fucking hyperfixate on the details. It's just not worth it. Mm-hmm. So he and I did a lot of projects together. And also, conveniently, our other friend was in that class I did the musicals with. He ended up, it was like me in the front seat. Yeah. We were in the back corner, first of all. Always a bad call. Me in the front seat. This kid that asked me to prom was behind me. And then our friend was like, triangle to our left. Yeah, like we were all in a little cluster together, and I was like, we're just gonna be rambunctious as fuck. And we got in trouble several times. But like we had a lot of fun hanging out in class, and like, you know, we just chilled, make jokes, the whole 9 yards. I think a big thing that happens with boys and me is that they don't know what to do because I'm funny. And I don't say that as like an arrogance thing. I just say that as like, I'm funny and they're not expecting me to be, and they're just like, oh, do I like this girl because she's funny? And I'm like, you might, but like, I'm also just gonna make you laugh because I'm genuinely hysterical. Like, I
mean, I think that's what happened with me, and especially the guy my friend who I liked in soccer. We did theater together also. Like, we were funny. We could joke back and forth. So I think it was like she's good at soccer. Like she's funny. Like and I was just like,
yeah, you started checking boxes, and you're like,
yeah, and I was like, oh, I didn't know I was doing that.
Yeah, and okay, so here's another horrible thing that I do. This is another thing that since COVID, I just don't do anymore. Yeah. But like up until COVID was something I actively was very comfortable doing, which is just like holding hands with people.
Oh, you're just like sending wrong messages all over the place.
Platonically, I love holding hands with people. I just like having physical contact, people. which is apparently just a terrible thing to do. Apparently, my love language is not useful in actual society, which is just a fucking super sadness for me because I just like holding people's hands. I don't feel why we gotta be so fucking.
You know what? Separate. I would let you hold my hand. Okay.
God damn it! I just want to hold hands with people. Shit. So anyway, I would like hold his hand in class, but I would also hold my other friend's hand in class. So I was like, obviously this doesn't mean anything because I'm just holding everybody's hand in class. Like this is just what I would do. Obviously not.
Dumb boys.
So dumb me. Okay, it's not just.
It's both.
50% of this was done by myself.
It's a roundabout. It's not just a two-way street. It's all in circles.
Yeah. I am very physical affection. I just like, I'll like, you know, pat people on the head, give them a little kiss on the forehead, a little hand hold. Just like in a variety of ways.
Oh no.
Am I more affectionate towards women than men? Yes, because men always take it the wrong way. Not my fault. Do I enjoy the fact that I can give beautiful women little kisses on the forehead? Yes, I do. Platonically? Who knows? Anyway, back to the story. So anyway, he asked me to prom.
Yeah.
But what was really funny is it was my brother and I were chilling in the cafeteria because we go home with our dad after work because my dad is a teacher. Yeah. So we're just chilling, and he's getting ready to get on the bus, and he sees me sitting there, and he walks over, and he's super red in the face, and I was like, are you okay?
What's happening?
Are you all right? And I'm like kind of getting flustered because I was like, why are you so weird right now? And he's like, we're like fumbling, and I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Oh no.
And he asked me to prom, and I'm like, oh, and I like, boom, beat red. Just like immediately. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'd like to go to prom with you. And, you know, like he gets excited, whatever, and then he leaves, and my brother's like, you're a fucking idiot. He's like, you got so red in the face, you fucking loser.
God. I love that immediately being called out by your brother.
Immediately roasted both of us, and I was like, damn it, Robbie. Super funny. But so we ended up doing with a bunch of different people. We had a group that we went with, and my brother was also in that group. So he went out with one of the girls, and it was 4 or 5 girls and boys. Yeah. And we did the whole thing. Did the corsages, did the little like flower for him. I did my hair really cute. I had a secondhand David Bridal's dress because fuck buying a real prom dress. Yep.
Oh, yeah. None of my prom dresses were real prom dresses. Are you kidding me?
Nope. And we, like, got ready together. We went to, like, a nice restaurant before we went to prom. And I don't know at what stage of this adventure that it clicked in my brain that he wanted a lot more than I was willing to give at 16 years old in high school prom.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't actually really blame him all that much. I was giving a lot of signals that probably said go, and what it really was just me being weird and not understanding my own signals. But, sorry, King. But, I ended up ditching him at prom and just hanging out with my brother, like, the whole time. I literally did, like, a dance with him and was like, actually, I'm really uncomfortable right now. Having this large, he's taller than me, this large man have his hands on me, slow dancing with, I don't like it. Actually, I don't like it. And I just disappeared. Because I'm tiny, you can't find me in a crowd. So I just wiggled out of there.
Alice just serpentining through people at prom.
Just fucking disappeared.
Oh my god. Well, that's like it's the same thing, like you said, you know, whenever we're younger, like we're not taught how to reject people. And it shouldn't have to be such a delicate dance, you know? It says something about our safety that it has to be delicate, but yikes.
I would like to continue on and say there's an epilogue to this.
Oh, there's more.
So he was graduating after that. So it was like we had like 3 more weeks together in class or something. Like we didn't have that much time left in class, and, you know, new student chart, whatever. Like I didn't sit near him very much after that. And, you know, I was still friendly, but was definitely not to the level I was before.
Dynamic changed a bit.
Yeah. And the kid that used to sit next to me, that was one of my really good friends, was now in front of me, and he and I would cheat on tests together. So, you know, we like hung out. We would play hangman after we finished tests because that was the only way to keep the two of us quiet. Yeah. Because we would just fucking giggle the whole time. Absolutely naughty teenagers. It was great.
Oh, there's a whole different vibe to, like, being an unhinged, like, too much energy teenager in a quiet classroom. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's great. So I did find out later from my best friend and my brother, who both worked at Buffalo Wild Wings together, that this man's wife, who is also my age, who looks very similar to me. So
that's
I was like,
another thing.
You've got a type. Married her, had a baby with her. This needs to be clarified. He went into the military, married her, had a baby with her. That whole, I think the baby was first. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You do you.
They locked it down.
She also worked at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
And I went to go see my friend, my BFF Jill for life, and my brother at Buffalo Wild Wings. This bitch glared at me the entire time I was in the restaurant. And I was like, what the who is this? Because she was from another school. Like, I didn't know her. I was like, what is with this attitude that I'm getting from this person I don't know? And my best friend finally came by and was like, oh yeah, she's married to so-and-so. And I was like, you mean my senior prom, like he was a senior prom date? Yeah. And she's like, yeah, she hates your guts because you went to prom with him his senior year. And I was like, so I immediately, like, stopped being his friend after that because it made me so uncomfortable. What do you mean, like, she hates me?
I get it, because I'm that jealous bitch. Like, I will glare at a bitch across the that could have been me. But it's like, that's way
over
after
a prom
the fact.
date, though?
No, like, I mean, if it was something current or very recent, that's not recent. That's
but the thing is that happened when I was in college.
Yeah.
Like, there was at least 3 years of separation.
Unless he was still talking about shit. And then,
that's a possibility. Okay, so once again, saying, this person did come into one of my Twitch streams last year, and I was like, oh, fuck. Because I hadn't thought about them in years. Yeah. And then for them to be like, you know who this is, and I played it stupid, because I was like, no, actually I don't. You're going to have to tell me who you are if you want me to acknowledge it.
Yeah, also, because that's horseshit.
I'm not playing that game.
Yeah. No.
But I knew who it was. I put it together very quickly. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not playing your game. Goodbye.
Yeah, no, I don't know what I would do. I would be like, no, let's not have you in here. Anybody who knows me from the past, let's not do that.
I think my favorite thing is that's probably the only other time I've fully committed to a crush and was like, yeah, I'll go do something with you. Yeah. I have never committed to that ever again, except for Logan. Like, every other person I crushed on or had, I called them flirtationships because I never pulled the trigger on any of them because that one situation made me so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it's not that he was a bad guy. It was just that, like,
it didn't turn out like you expected.
Yeah, he was expecting more out of things, and I was just going to have fun and didn't realize that there were more implications involved. And I didn't put that together until, like, way later, so I was just like, oh, I kind of fucked that up in, like, a weird way. You know,
didn't
like,
fuck up anything.
I was sensing it and didn't know what it was until I got older and was like, oh, shit.
Yeah. But I have so many different parts of your story that I could jump off into. I'm not even sure which section to go next, but, like, I guess if we're talking about, like, let's I'm gonna go into the ninth grade one with somebody else. Like, he was dating somebody else, a crush that I had in ninth grade. He was dating another girl, and it was again just the hormones thing. He was kind of a hot dummy. He was a himbo. He was very nice. He played football, popular kid, whatever. It was like Chad Michael Murray in A Cinderella Story.
Oh, you know? Okay.
Kind of like that.
Just,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little dreamy, but there's really not a whole lot going on upstairs.
Yeah, there wasn't much there. But, like, I was wildly crushing on this kid. And I think, like, I sat behind him in, like, a class. So, you know, I was just, like, living for it. He smelled nice. You know, it was, like, one of those.
Gotta love that.
And then I think it got around to, like, I was talking to some of my friends about it, like my girlfriends, and then maybe one of the guy friends found out and was like, I'm going to tell him. And I was like, don't do that. You know, like, don't do that. But then I didn't want it to get back to him and, like, from other people. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to just take control.
You grew some balls, Jessica?
Oh, girl, I tell everybody. That's part of my cringe thing, is if I like somebody, I tell them. That's another story, too. But, like, this was... Again, I was like 14, 15. This was 2005, 2004. I didn't have a cell phone yet. But you know what?
Oh my God, Supernatural came out.
You know what we did have? AOL Instant Messenger. So I put in, because
not the dark times,
a little profile. Like if you clicked on somebody's thing, you could have stuff written out. So I wrote in there, I was like, you know what? Yeah, like, it's true. I have a crush on so and so. Like, it doesn't matter.
Oh no,
it doesn't matter. And Jessica. I wrote it in there. Yeah, I did, so that everybody could know. And then his girlfriend at the time actually messaged
Jessica,
me
no,
on Instant Messenger. No, but she was actually very nice about it. She could have kicked my ass. She definitely could have fucked me up. But no, she was very nice about it. She was like, you know what? I think it was really brave of you to, like, put that out there. Like, I'm not mad at you.
Look at her handling the situation.
I know. At, like, 14, 15, I was like, girl, thank you. I was like, obviously, I'm not going to do anything about it. Like, I was like, it's literally just a crush. You have nothing to worry about. But I didn't want people to talk about me and this and, like, spread weird shit.
Also, I would like to say, if someone else has a crush on your boyfriend, doesn't that just mean you've got a good boyfriend? Yeah. Because, like, other people also want them, you know?
Like, I think I was talking to her, I was like, no, y'all are really cute together. But I think it was because I also realized, it's the thing I said earlier, it's like, if I dated this man, what? I don't actually want to date this man.
Yeah, what am I going to get out of that? Ultimately?
What would I do? He's so dumb. I don't have anything to
I literally never had time to date in high school. I managed soccer, was in dance, I was in the musical, and I had school. Like, I had no time for shit. And when I had time for shit, I was hanging out with my girlies because I didn't have sisters, so I went and found girls. Not realizing I was bisexual and was just trying to find girls.
Yeah, and it was a little bit of a, hey... Yeah, that was a cringy time. But literally, like, I've told, I think, everybody that I like them first. Like, this is the thing that I do. I
never tell people. I hate admitting my feelings.
I can't do the physical, like, I can't pull the trigger on physical stuff. But the feelings, I'm like, so no, I'll say it. Yeah, no, I can't do that first. I can't make the first move physically, but I can make the first move by telling somebody.
Oh, I'm suddenly remembering things that I did in college, and I'm like,
uh-oh.
You know what? There are some things I'm just not willing to expose on the internet. But, I would like to say that I did some cringy shit in college, too, that I just...
You don't need to explore it if you don't want to.
That's it, you know? Well, and the funny thing is that I was like, my freshman year, I was still fairly naive about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And had a crush on someone. And the more that I think about that crush, the more I'm like, you were just in excited new person territory, because college is like a bunch of new people.
It is, yeah.
And funnily enough, he's actually a content creator now. That's what he does. And I found his TikTok the other day because I still have his phone number. And so it connected me through TikTok, and I was watching some of his videos, and I was just like, I would have killed you. I would have murdered you in your sleep. We would not have gotten along. This would have been a toxic relationship. I'm glad we did not pull that trigger. Like,
that's good.
Nope, not for me. Yeah, he was, I don't know, dude. That was just like
just questionable.
New shiny toy, and then I was like, you know what? I'm trying to get through school, and you're a lot, and I just can't do this anymore.
I mean, slightly relatable. When I went to college too, there was a guy that I was like super hyper fixated on. We were in soccer class together. We were in indoor soccer. He was also a few years older, because it was a kind of like it was a community college, so it was also a little bit of like continuing education. Like, so I think when I was 18, 19, he might have been like 23, or something. So he was a little bit older, and again, always smelled fantastic. But, like, we would flirt while we played soccer, and, like, shove each other, whatever, like, try to keep the ball from each other. And I remember we'd been flirting for a long time.
Yeah.
And there was one night I had been drinking with some of my friends at one of their houses. And, like, I was like, you know what? I'm going to text this guy. I'm going to text him. I'm going to ask him to come over, like, whatever, like, hang out with him. And, like, so I did. It was, like, 3 a.m. I texted him to come over to our friend's house. And, like, we made out. And I didn't really, like, he was very respectful. He didn't do anything else, obviously, because I was drunk, which was great.
Yeah.
Good man.
Good on him.
And we were on the floor with some of our friends sleeping next in a bed, like, 2 feet away.
Good on him for that.
Yeah. He was very nice. We made out. I wasn't super into it. Like, it didn't do anything for me. I was like, oh, so I guess this isn't, like, it didn't, there was no spark. No, which my friend made fun of me for. He was like, Jessica, a spark? Are you kidding me? I was like, I didn't feel anything.
It's the Princess Diaries moment. She didn't have the foot pop,
I
okay?
didn't. Yeah.
It's important.
Kiss was too wet. Like, it didn't do anything for me. I was like, nah. So then the next day when I saw him in soccer class, I feel so bad because he was obviously coming over to, like, talk to me, like, hey, like, what's up? And I was just like, hi, and, like, kept going. And my
you
friends
couldn't
were
play
like,
it off.
That was harsh. And I was like, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, you couldn't play it off.
Yeah. And then we just kind of, both didn't talk about it and pretended it never happened and just moved on with our lives. And if I could apologize to him today, I would. And I'd just be like, dude, I didn't know how to handle the situation and tell you that I changed my mind and I wasn't into it, but I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think what's wild is that I enjoy a flirtationship more than actually committing.
I mean, I think
minus
that's
Logan,
part of it.
obviously.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Because I know he'll overhear me or listen to this and be like, "What about me?" No, not you.
Yeah, this doesn't equate to current.
This is applying to when I was still 23 and single. Okay?
We are smart. We are in the right headspace and with the right people now.
I'm really upset.
Does not apply.
I'm really upset. I did not explore my bisexuality a little bit more before committing to a relationship. Yeah. Purely because girls are hot. What was I? What was I thinking?
You didn't know for sure for a while, you said.
No, but it's pretty fucking obvious when I look back on it.
Yeah.
That fucking 20/20 hindsight, bitch. Yeah, and you know what? I can literally give you the category of person too. The dommy mommies, man.
Oh, that's
I would let Shigo do horrible things to me.
I was gonna say Kim Possible, isn't it?
No, specifically Shigo. It's that villain dommy mommy energy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yikes. Oh, and then I managed the women's soccer team in college. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, every single one of those bitches had dommy mommy energy. And I was terrified of all of them. It wasn't fear. It wasn't fear.
Hormonal fear.
I realized it later in life.
That's fantastic. You know,
that was one of those things where I was like, oh, okay.
Is that one of those things, if you were able to go talk to your younger self and, like, tell them something, be like, hey.
Go kiss a girl. Do it. Don't be a fucking coward.
Hey. Go explore something a little bit.
Okay, but there's a really funny joke that my college best friend and I have where it's like, the reason why I didn't date in college was because she and I were too busy dating each other. Mm-hmm. Even though she had, like, a string of boyfriends the entire time.
Yeah.
Because we would be the ones that be like, we'd get off class, we'd call each other. We'd be in class, we'd be texting. We would always take each other out for dinner. We'd, hang out at each other's works. Like, I would go with her to Meijer to help her take care of the flower section in Meijer just so we could spend time together. Like, she and I were fully committed to each other. So we didn't have time to commit to anyone else.
Yeah.
And when she would get boyfriends,
last time.
Yeah, if she had boyfriends that took up too much of our time, I'd be like, I don't mean to be rude, but you need to break up with him because he's cutting into our time.
That's true.
And I don't mean that in like a I'm obsessed with her kind of way, because I was, first of all.
Well, yeah, but
in a, like, I love her kind of way.
Yeah,
but like,
way.
She had one toxic boyfriend that was a bitch, and I didn't like him because he always wanted her undivided attention, and I was like, no. You don't get her that. Undivided attention. So,
yeah, we talked about that kind of last time, because I said the same thing. It was like, no, like, I didn't need a boyfriend, because I had all my social stuff filled by a bestie. But also it was, like you said, the flirting and stuff, I didn't really want to date somebody half the time. I just wanted the excitement, but not any of the physicality. No, thank you.
Can you see Logan?
Yeah, I can see him also fucking staring at us in
fucking
here.
Being weird.
I have one other, like, cringy person story, like a cringy dating story with me and this other person. And then it's just kind of like general stuff.
Yeah.
But there was a guy, I was a senior in high school. He was a grade below me. We were both in theater together.
Fucking cradle robbing.
Whatever. He was really tall. He was gangly as all shit. He was in kind of like, if I had to put him in a style of person, he was written in the style of Shane Bidet, kind of. Like,
incredible.
Yeah. Very nice, very funny, pretty good at theater, and if you know anything about high school theater, which I know you do, a lot of back massages all around.
There's a lot happening in those behind the scenes segments.
A lot of backstage back massages. But anyway, like, there was, I really liked him. My best friend Monica also knew it. We went to, again, the local park, because it was a place that, like, a lot of people hung out at. And she liked his other friend, and she was so sweet. She was keeping his friend busy. Like, they were doing their own thing, chasing each other around the park. She was like, "I'll keep him busy so you can talk to homeboy over there."
MVP Monica, let's go.
I know, bestie. And so, like, I was talking to him, and I was like, I want to tell him that I like him, but then I was so scared. And then we were walking back to the car after, like, we were about to leave, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I like you. I just blurted it, like, on the way back to the car, and he was like, "You do?" I was like, "Yeah, I like you." And he was like, "I like you too." And it was like, awesome. And then he asked me out on a date for Valentine's Day, and it was so awkward because he also asked me to, like, it was one of the nicer restaurants, like, where we lived.
Oh no, so it was fancy.
It was fancier than it should have been. But, like, he got me a rose. Like, I also had to drive because he didn't have a car, so I drove us there.
That cuts it a little bit.
A little bit. I was like, okay. But he paid for the meal. Like, we didn't have anything to fucking talk about because he was so nervous. I could tell. It's not that we didn't have stuff in common, but it's just like we were both so nervous. You guys just
couldn't find conversation.
Yeah, that we couldn't do it. And then, like, so I drove him home, and I don't know if he was going in for a kiss or not, because, like, so he was in the passenger seat. He, like, turned and, like, leaned over, and he hit his head on the rearview mirror.
This poor soul. This poor man.
Yeah, and then we hugged. And, like, he went.
Yikes.
We let him back inside. And then the next, like, time we had theater class, my theater teacher, who he razzed a lot of people. It wasn't necessarily the best thing. Like, the guys, when they came into theater, they were hazed by the other guys. Like, it wasn't, like, I was forever nervous. about anything, like, to give anybody an excuse to razz me about something.
Yeah.
I never had a nickname, thank God. Like, I never really got into that section of it where it was actual teenage trauma in theater class. But, like, he was like, oh, like, Jessica, how was your Valentine's Day? Like, in front of everybody. And I, like, heart dropped. I was so nervous. I was like, it was fine. And then later I asked him, I was like, do you think he knows? And he was like, does it matter? I was like, for me, it does. Like, I don't want to be razzed by anything.
Yeah, because it's bait for this person to be rude.
Yeah, like, my theater teacher was a very nice man sometimes. But I was like, I made it through. I was in senior year. I made it through all of high school without a bad nickname, without trauma, without major stuff. So I was like, I do not want this now. Plus, I was also like, that was when my parents were getting divorced. So it was like, I'm already in the middle of some emotional shit. I don't need anything else. Yeah. And then, like, we kind of didn't talk for a little bit. And then I found out he started dating somebody else in the theater class. And I was like, dude, what happened? And he was like, well, like, we didn't kiss after the date. I didn't and then you got worried and I didn't think you liked me. And I was like, bro, you didn't even talk to me about it. But I'll just
I had that happen to me when I was in 8th grade. I had someone that I really liked. That was one of my brother's friends. And he asked me to be his girlfriend over Christmas break. And I was going to a church camp for 3 days in the winter. And was people like, I'm going to be off the internet for 3 days. Mm-hmm. I will give you my answer when I come back. Yeah. And by the time I came back, he was dating somebody else. And I was like, well, okay, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I was really pissed off about it because I was like, obviously, all this work we've put in to build this between us, like all this energy, didn't mean anything to you because you immediately jumped to somebody else, or you were talking to two people at the same time, and I didn't like that either.
The amount of times that I've had that happen.
Yeah. And then he dated my best friend later, and their relationship was really toxic, and I was like, wow, it's like I fucking knew what I was doing.
The same thing happened to me.
We went to college together. He was in my college with me, and then he chilled out. I don't know what happened. It's like he chilled out when I think it's because he finally got away from his parents.
Yeah.
And he chilled out really good, and we became friends again. And then I met the girl that he had a crush on, and I was like, "Oh, you like her? Oh, you like my friend over this girl right here that I know? Yeah, you like her? Huh? Wild.
Interesting.
Maybe you should shoot your fucking shot. They're getting engaged.
Oh, well, that's nice. Happy ending.
Yeah.
But that literally happened to me also. 9th grade, there was another guy in theater that I liked. And I thought he liked me too. Like, we would talk on the phone, like we would flirt in theater and stuff. And then, like, he asked my best friend at the time, this was before I met Monica. So this was like the middle school into high school before she started partying way earlier than I started partying, like, friend. He started dating her. He asked her to be his girlfriend. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? And, like, I talked to him about it. And he was like, I didn't think you liked me. And I was like, you didn't even ask me. It's like, I would have dated you, homie. That's but fair. Then he was very toxic and very controlling of her. And I was like, oh, I dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I don't
know what's really
happened.
funny is I feel like the only other time I really wish I had done actually significantly more dating was when I worked at Disney. Mm-hmm. Because... wish I'd known I was more gay back then, because there are so many people there are gay. It is unbelievable. The astronomical numbers of cast members at Disney World that are gay. It's the vibes. You know how many princesses I could have hooked up with? God damn it, I wasted my time.
The vibes and the performance, man. It's just
like
perfect.
And I had a friend that was Puerto Rican who was in a lot of the shows, and very flirty. I don't know if you've ever interacted with Puerto Rican men. Very flirty.
No, I have not.
And I was just like, this is a cultural thing. You guys just flirt. Like, this is not a big deal. So he and I would just, like, flirt back and forth, whatever. And we both knew it didn't mean anything. Like, we weren't super casual about
just
it.
Fun.
But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, man, I would have been a huge slut at Disney. If I just let myself.
I read a tweet, because I think I'm seeing some Disney things every once in a while because of you, because of your circle.
Yeah, I still retweet stuff about it.
And it was somebody saying basically, like, no, don't date anybody else at Disney, because everybody is a huge slut and is dating everybody else at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
So you probably did yourself a service.
All those mouths have all touched all different kinds of things, okay? Yeah. I'm just, like... It's wild. That's a
thing.
cesspool.
It happens in high school friend groups and in theater a lot too. And again, I'm glad that I wasn't a part of that. No slack to anybody who was, somebody who dated everybody in a friend group.
Yeah,
but it's
kudos
just so
to the
weird.
shuffle. But
yeah, but I'm just like,
what's wild
everybody.
about Disney is that there's 10 straight men.
Yeah.
Everyone else is a little bit fruity.
So it's
a little bit fruity.
Supply and demand. It's
yeah.
There's high demand.
Yeah, there's an attraction to Disney for a very specific group of people, and it's not straight people.
Yeah.
And it makes more and more sense to me every time I think about it more. I'm like, damn.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I look at my life, you know what I found out today?
Oh, did I? It's the tweet I saw. Is it your shirt?
Yeah. James Dean was a bisexual.
Yeah.
And I have owned a James Dean sweatshirt since college because I went to the festival they hold in his hometown in Indiana when I was in school, and I bought the sweatshirt. And now, once again, I ironically have found another bi icon unintentionally.
Well, that's like whenever you told me that your second tattoo that you got was gonna be a moth, and I was like, "Girl, do you understand that is the tattoo for bisexual people? That is icon."
I didn't know that a moth meant bisexual. I fell right into the trap.
You did. I thought that was so funny.
He's really cute,
TikTok.
though.
I swear to God. No, he is cute. He's adorable. But you did.
It's so
you
funny.
Just fell right into the imagery without even realizing.
God damn it.
Which is amazing.
I just stumbled right in there.
Oh, my God. I love being a cringy human being. I hate it sometimes because I think about it way too often. But
oh, yeah. Honestly, this was therapeutic because I think finally being able to tell another person and just having it be available on the internet, I can just not, it doesn't need to be in my brain anymore.
Oh, it still will be.
But the thing is that it can't be as cringy because if I could say it out loud, that means it wasn't so cringy that I was like, no, it has to stay under lock and key. There are still some things that are under lock and key in my brain.
True.
From being cringy, but
no, there are some
now
things
that it's
will
out,
never be
it doesn't
said.
have as much weight. It's like,
But I think they're all relatable. Again, half the stories you told me, I was like, nope, I commiserate.
Oh, yeah.
I feel that. I feel it.
Yeah. As someone who did not get her first kiss until 23, I feel like I had good stories. Thank you.
Oh my God. Again, at 15, I was just too overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do with this information, with these feelings. Mm-mm. What? No. Oh my God. And I'm sure there was stuff I missed. Cringy things, and they'll come back to me after this and I'll be like, oh my God, I forgot.
And the other thing is that I spent a lot of time crushing on fictional people.
Yeah.
Or, actors. I didn't put a lot of energy into people I could physically be around. It was a lot of energy into,
Yeah, I feel like it was more...
Doctor Who and
more
shit.
rare that the full-on obsession was about, a real person.
Yeah.
We were heavily into, again, imagination.
Yeah, I made my own stories.
Fictional men, yeah. Mm-hmm. Which I think saved us some grief. We could have had way more worse things.
Now I have friend crushes. Now I'm just like, I need you to be my friend.
Buddies.
You have to be tethered to me in some manner because when I leave whatever I'm doing and I don't get to see you every single day, bitch, you better keep talking to me. I demand it.
We obsess over each other so hard.
Yeah.
I was like, do I watch a movie? Do I hang out with my games?
You want to watch Bridgerton Season 2 with me for 8 hours?
Do you got 4 hours? You want to watch North and South?
You want to watch North and South? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
you get it.
We've obsessed over each other in a cringy but mutually cringy fashion. Yeah. So it's not as bad.
I'm really glad we got through our weird, I don't want her to think that I'm weird, but I'm going to send her these memes. We got through that really fast.
We did.
We blew through the this is this weird and just went straight to here are memes, please laugh.
Yeah, because that first interaction where we played Mario Kart together was still awkward as fuck. It was because we were both, I could tell we were both so contained in excitement. We were both just be cool.
Yeah.
Be cool.
Don't be weird. Don't be competitive. Don't be weird. Don't say something strange.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just deformed from there.
Thank God. We figured out we're both fucking weird in similar fashions.
I think discovering rom-coms and enjoying period piece dramas was really what sealed the deal for us. Because the fact that we both love those things for the same violent reasons is great.
But the moral of this episode is to find the person who cringes with you. Okay?
I look like a hawksbill sea turtle.
You did. She's over here making faces while I'm trying to be like put it all together in a nice little package, and you're over here turtle. Like the fucking, what was that one with Dana Carvey? The Master of Disguise. Turtle. You know what? That puts it in a nice package though too. Find the person you cringe with. Richard and I cringe together all the time.
Oh my God, Logan and I make the dumbest fucking jokes together all the time.
If there's somebody that you feel like you have to be super cool around,
no.
I
remember reading a quote one time that was like, don't find the person that gives you butterflies in your stomach, find the person who you hold hands with and you feel safe.
Yeah, that's nice.
That for me was what I was like, that's what I'm looking for. I don't need that person that's got me constantly like, you know, on my toes. Like, you don't want to feel anxious your entire life. Like, that just seems maddening. So,
oh my God,
you know,
yeah. Like, I
found the person that makes me feel safe.
Yeah. Because I told you, like, when I first met Richard, I was like, whoa, hey. But the moment that I really knew that I liked him and I was like, I think this could be my person. Before we started dating and everything either, too, where the obsession truly hit. I was like, we went out to a bar with a couple friends. There was a foosball table. And we were playing foosball together. And just giggling like I'd never giggled like with another man before in my life. Like both of us doubled over in laughter over this foosball table, just being so stupid. And it was like, nope, that's it.
It's people who will laugh with you as you descend into madness giggles. It was
madness giggles. It was the unhinged, like for no reason. Nothing that funny was really happening.
Nope.
But it was like, nope, that's it. That's it. Your cringe
the
partner.
Person who I'll send 74 TikToks to, and as we watch them at night, I go, yeah, I knew you were going to laugh like that, bitch. I knew exactly how you were going to react to it. Love those.
Be cringy and be proud.
Well, Jessica, this has been wonderful. Thank you for sharing stories with me today.
Yeah, sharing our cringe. So
Sharon is Karen, except when it's germs.
Yes. No share germs. What's the thing that you can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but don't pick your friend's nose?
What?
You've never heard that before?
I'm ending my recording right now.
Wait, no, we have to do an actual kind of outro thing.
You can find Jessica on Twitch at It's Jessica Woot and on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, more on Twitter. I'm also on Twitch as The Curious Alice without the E on some of those because for some fucking reason someone else has the name.
How dare
they haven't used the account in 13 years, so I'm trying to steal it back, but Elon Musk is a fucking dick, so I can't.
Call out post. Yeah. Also TikTok. Also Instagram, but I forget about Instagram. Tiki-taki. Okay.
All right, this is gone long enough. Bye.
Bye.